Welcome back to the channel, and if you're here for the first time, we're glad to have you. This is David from Unqualified Critics, and there's a bit of news out of Arcade 1UP, something we haven't seen in quite a while. The last retail news has been the Gamestop pre-orders. That's Pac-Man 40th Anniversary, Frogger, and of course NBA Jam. But that's GameStop. Not everybody likes to order from GameStop, and the release date there isn't until July. Today we have news that there's a release on May 13th on Walmart.com, and it's the Pac-Man 40th Anniversary cabinet. From the looks of it, this is almost identical to the cabinet on GameStop. The big difference here being that the cabinet is $3.99 instead of $4.99, and it does not come with a stool. So we know that Arcade 1UP has this strategy, or at least this is the strategy with GameStop, to get a higher price point, get to that $500 cost. The way they're getting there seemingly is just bundling stuff in. It's not necessarily a higher quality cabinet, but you are getting the stool, which you may or may not like. Then there's also this light up deck protector that is imaged. We don't see anything like that on Walmart.com, but this listing is also clearly incomplete and kind of a work in progress. I think this just went online very recently. So it's possible this does light up and they just don't show it, but my guess is that's what we're missing for the $100 is the light up deck protector and the stool, which those are bad things to miss because you may not care about those things. I suspect a lot of people won't care about those things and would rather get this at the $3.99 cost. Now, I will say the stool design actually is super dope. I really like that. Hopefully it's available separately. I'm leaning toward, I don't think I want the light up deck protector, but as I've said before, we'll wait and see. The other question I have for this Walmart release is, does the marquee light up? We know the GameStop model lights up, and hopefully it lights up here, but unfortunately there just isn't any info to go off of in this listing other than how much it weighs and the release date. Something else I noticed, they used what I believe is an outdated photo of the original prototype for this cabinet in the Walmart listing. I think it's a mistake. I think we're going to see this get pulled, but it just goes to show you how good this cabinet really could have looked. Now let's talk about these wood side panels. I like them, but I can tell from the comments a lot of people don't. And I think that's fine because they do have the yellow version Pac-Man that you could go out and buy. They even have that version with a light up marquee. Now it doesn't come with all these games. It just comes with Pac-Man and Pac Plus, but you've got the two different styles out there, and I think that it's good to have those options. Don't really like that the riser has the wood grain on the front and the black on the side. I don't know why they would alternate those designs. It really just breaks up the look of the cabinet and reminds you that it's sitting on a milk crate instead of just one single unit, which is what I think the market would prefer to see. But here's what I really want to talk about is how good this monitor looks when it's fully recessed and in line with an angled control panel. Now this looks like the original Pac-Man Cabaret cab. This is really an authentic design. It looks sweet. Compare it to this, right? It's not the same. And again, we know from leaks that this was actually the original design, but it looks like they've abandoned it, probably for cost savings. But if we're paying $400 to $500, I think it's safe to say we want that original design. That's something I've been lobbying for a while, is make these cabinets look as arcade authentic as you can. Numbskull and Replicate have done it. And I think I saw in an interview on RetroBuzz that David from Arcade 1UP said the reason they can't go too arcade authentic is how do you convince the licensor to sell something for 1/8 of the price that's an exact replica? But I don't buy that. I think that's actually kind of lazy thinking. Here's why. These are not the same size as an original machine. They're not the same weight. They're never going to be the same build quality with real wood. These are MDF boards. You can't use them in a real arcade, which is why you'd buy a real machine, by the way. And before you say, well, but David, everybody buys these for home use, even the real arcades. I disagree. The bar arcade resurgence has created a huge market for those original arcade cabs, but nobody would want to put one of these in a bar arcade. Nobody with any sense, because the thing would just fall apart. I mean, it's not made for commercial use. You can tell by looking at it, playing on it. The same way nobody would put a Replicate in a real arcade. You want true full-size arcade machines here. These are, after all, quite a bit smaller than the original machines, which is exactly the difference with Replicate and Numbskull. They're the original machine, but they're smaller. Well, this is smaller. And I don't think we need to talk about an eighth of the price either. I think if this was really a replication of the original arcade, I'm talking a coin door replica, doesn't need to be functional, but just to give you the look and feel with one of those light up 25-cent buttons that give you more credits. Again, just like Replicate. If you had stuff like that on here and then you had the original screen orientation, the control deck was designed the exact original way, I think there is a market for people to pay $600 to $800 for that. Now, we want name brand controls and all of that, but I think there's a market there. And then you have the more simple cookie cutter designs for a lower price point. At $400 for this to have the fully vertical screen, because I already have that, right? I already have Pac-Man. I know a lot of you do too. I already have a Galaga. It would be nice to have them in one machine. The other games I don't really care for. I don't know that they're very popular. Maybe they are. Maybe that's for you. But I think if people buy this, they're really buying it for Pac-Man and Galaga. The design, is it an improvement over the original? I believe it is. Got the light up marquee, got the custom side panels, but does it go far enough to justify buying these titles a second time? I'm not sure. All right, so looking at when this is out, May 14th is the date when you can get this in store. And so far, there is no news from Walmart on NBA Jam or Frogger, but I'm going to go out on a limb and guess they will have the NBA Jam at least. Arcade1Up has said before they wanted to get NBA Jam out for Father's Day, although that might slip, and obviously we know there are issues around the world to slow things down. But if Walmart can get Pac-Man, my guess is they can get NBA Jam, and this is going to be the cabinet I think people fight over. This is going to be the mega seller this year, aside from pinball, which I think will be huge. NBA Jam has never been re-released in an arcade format since its original release. And Pac-Man we've been able to play forever a million different ways. NBA Jam is new, it's fresh, it's got the online play, it's got the 4-player setup, and it just looks so good. So my hope is Walmart announces that soon. I think this May 14th date gives us hope that we don't necessarily need to wait until July. I think it also gives us hope that we may be able to land NBA Jam at $400 instead of $500, as long as you're willing to give up that light up deck protector and that stool, which my guess is most people are going to be willing to give that up. I think Walmart's smart to go for the lower price. Leave the niche stuff to Gamestop. You know, if people are excited to pay a little extra, get a few extras, then go to Gamestop and pick that up. Choice is a good thing. That's all we have right now. I'm going to keep my eye on this, and hopefully we see some more news leak out very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and let me know below in the comments what you think of this design. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this design looks good to folks, and maybe we don't need the recessed screen, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Catch you later.
Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you.